Welcome to Ultimate Survival Gear. Today, as you guys can see, I have something yet again from Oakley. Let's open up the box and see what we got, because these are Oakley Si Light Patrol Tactical and Military Boots. Check these out. Currently $113 on Amazon. The link is in the description below, just in case if you want to check out some Amazon reviews and some additional details. Overall, I do like the comfort level. They're definitely lightweight. The outsole could have been a little bit better. I do have a little bit of complaints about the lacing system. And another thing, I will mention it in the main review, but I want you to stick around. That's why I'm not going to disclose everything in the beginning. But if you have time to watch the whole review, let's get into it. As some of you guys already know, if you've been watching my videos before, you know that this review is not just any regular boot review. This review is specifically for my Ultimate Survival boot section. Basically, if these weren't just your regular boots, although these are tactical military combat boots, so obviously these are not regular boots. You buy these boots with a survival situation in mind. Something bad happens, now you have to go through different terrains, you have to run, you have to walk for extended periods of time, you have to fight in them. Would this be good for stuff like that? Obviously. Well, how to make the judgment? We make the judgment based on 8 different criteria. Let's begin with the criteria number 1, comfort level. And in order to test the comfort level of all the boots and shoes that I review on this channel, I do a 3-mile run non-stop, and then a 5-mile walk, no pauses in between, and then I continue wearing the boots for the rest of the day, so that the total wear time is about 8 hours. Like I said, overall they are pretty comfortable. There are a few factors that contribute to the comfort level. Let's start with the first one, of course. Weight. Yes, and I do have my scale over here. This is size 10, and I am thinking this should be about, this is lightweight, this is really light. I would say about 14 ounce. Well, let's find out if I'm close. Wow, I'm pretty close. 14 ounce. Not too shabby. Yeah, do this for as long as I've been doing it, and you will be as accurate as I. Now it's just like. But anyway, pretty good. 14 ounces, very, very impressive, especially for, you know, the whole 8 inches of the shaft. Very, very impressive. Definitely a lightweight. Now, there's another thing that contributes to the comfort level is the flexibility of the outsole. Obviously, with more flexible outsole, it will be easier to run, because now you have that flexibility. But at the same time, the flimsier the outsole, right? If it's too flexible, now it becomes flimsy, and now it's, well, not very good, especially through certain terrains, like for example, you know, something rocky, you know, we're getting into the like borderline mountaineering territory. Here I have to say it's a pretty good balance between the two. It's not flimsy, but at the same time it's pretty flexible. Now, as you can see, the creasing here is not too bad. There isn't really, you know, much of the pressure points. Although, speaking of the pressure points, I do have to say this part right here, this created where this kind of like design meets right here, created a little bit of a pressure point over time. I started feeling it, so keep that in mind. Again, pressure points usually over time they get to kind of break in and mold better around your foot. Keep that in mind as well, but something for you to think about if you're serious about getting this boot. But let's move on to the next factor that contributes to the comfort level, if I can take it out. It's the inner sole. I have to say, inner sole, I am very impressed. It's very good. Stuff hanging around here. This is part of the inner sole. Never seen something like this. Silly, but you will. This is a brand new boot, obviously for demo purposes. But if you're getting this, make sure to get rid of it so it doesn't create any problems for you. But check out this inner sole. There is a decent heel bed, very defined heel support, arch support. Overall, the cushioning is pretty good, I have to say, especially here at the heel. But even once you remove the inner sole, you still got some cushioning here. If I don't know if you can see it, probably not, it's just darkness in there, but there's another layer of cushioning, which is very nice. So you do have plenty of cushioning. If you're running in these boots, there you go, you have some impact protection. Whenever it comes to padding, okay, this is where this boot starts lacking. Obviously, this is lightweight, you know, they try to save as much weight as possible, so there's practically no padding at all. No padding in the tongue, no padding in the shaft, going throughout the whole boot. There is no padding whatsoever, nowhere. Okay, so make sure to get yourself very nice cushiony socks, otherwise you will be uncomfortable. Okay, done with that, let's move on to the criteria number 2, proofing and protection. Now, proofing wise, these are not waterproof, and you probably notice the drainage vents right here. Now, this is where my complaint is. Yes, these are real vents. Check them out. You can actually see my I don't know if can you see my finger? Yep, there you go. That's my finger right there. So yes, these are the real drainage vents. However, here's my problem with this. Whoever designed it, because the arch support, a very distinct arch support here, is designed the way it is designed. Whenever you get that inner sole in, which I mean obviously it has to be in there, it blocks completely these drainage vents. All right, so this part, the arch support, completely covers these drainage vents. So I guess maybe different departments were designing the drainage vents and the inner sole, and they did not coordinate together. I'm not sure what happened, but this is kind of silly. So yes, the whole purpose of the drainage vents, of having them, is kind of taken away by this blocking that. Now obviously it will still drain, not as effective, but it will. But still, overall, you know, it's a little bit silly. I wouldn't expect something like that from a brand like Oakley. But let's talk about the protection. Protection wise, again, there isn't much, because again, it's designed to save weight as much as possible. So you do have a little bit of a reinforcement at the very front of the toe box, but it's still very soft. Don't drop anything. Obviously throughout the whole boot. Ankles, I mean, you can pretend like you have any protection in the ankles, but this is super soft. So don't smash your ankles or anything either. The same thing on the heel, you do have a little bit of reinforcement, kind of like the front. And from the outsole, you have a quality rubber to give you protection from the outsole. But we'll talk about the outsole later. Okay, let's move on to the criteria number 3 now, quality and the design features. Now, quality-wise, like I said, I put the Amazon link in the description below, just so that you can see reviews in general. There's over 1,200 5-star reviews on this boot. So yes, these boots are pretty popular tactical military option, you know, whenever it comes to tactical military boots. That's really, really impressive, honestly, I have to say. 1,200 5-star reviews, that's pretty impressive. Overall, I mean, the Oakley is a great brand. You know, you can tell the build quality, the materials, everything feels good. You know, they know what they're doing. Yes, there are minor here and there complaints, and you know, I'm going to talk about the design features. Let's move on to the design features. It's the lacing system. Lacing system is, I'm not sure. Check this out. Let me take this out. And it keeps going and keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. Look at that. Look how long these strings are. I mean, you can probably rappel from the, no, don't do that. Please don't do that. That's not what it is for. Yes, this is too long. Even wrapped around the shaft, if you're going this way, you still have way too much of this string. I don't know why it's so long. I mean, it's easily solvable. You just cut it and, you know, burn down the ends, and there you go. But yeah, something not, you know, not something that you should be worried about and should be dealing with, honestly. Now, with boots like this, if you guys been subscribed to my channel, if you have been watching any of my reviews, you know I usually recommend, whenever it comes to boots like this with 18 shaft, you know, military tactical style boots, getting yourself always something with the side zip. Just because a lacing system like this, yes, once you put the boot on, you're fine, you're going, everything's great. But without the side zip, it takes forever putting them on and taking them off. It just takes forever. Now, if you are, you know, doing your regular training and you know, you're getting up in the morning, you're putting it on, going to work, doing your shift, that might not be such a big deal. But if we are looking, you know, like I said, this is not a regular review, this review is specifically for ultimate survival boots, right? And kind of part of having a good survival boot is obviously having something that you can put on quickly and take off quickly, all right? Without the side zip, you kind of compromise on that. So something for you to keep in mind. But let's move on to the criteria number 4. Outsole, traction and stability. Now this is another area where I think this boot could have been better. Overall, this is more for sandy surfaces. If you're doing, you know, over sandy surfaces, you will be fine. Regular, you know, asphalt, whatever, concrete, tarmac, I don't know. On marble tile, flat shiny surfaces, it handles very well. But if you're getting more in the slippery territory, like the wet grass, you're gonna be doing some figure skating. So keep that in mind. If you're planning to do it outdoors, like for example here, you know, I get a lot of questions here in Florida, you know, from security officers, police officers, you know, obviously in the morning, your grass, if you're patrolling outside, it's pretty wet. You don't want something like that because you will be slipping and sliding. So keep that in mind. Overall, the quality of the rubber is very, very good. So I think Oakley could have done a better job to make this outsole a little bit more versatile. But I guess they decided to go more a little bit, you know, one direction. But let's move on to the criteria number 5, temperature, really quickly. For hot weather, fantastic, very nice, very breathable, because there is no padding, because you have these blocked vents or whatever, but not that bad. You still get a little bit of air in sometimes, but overall in the hot weather it's very breathable. In the cold, I'm not even going to talk about, pointless, don't get them for cold. These are not winter boots in any way, and no, you're probably not gonna get away with whatever solution you come up with for these in the winter. You're not gonna get away. So 3 season max. Let's move on to the criteria number 6, sizing. These are true to the size. The fit is a little bit on the wider fit, so if you prefer that wider toe box, you're gonna appreciate these, but there's no problem with the sizing. I would recommend getting a half a size bigger, just like I do recommend for all the boots that are reviewed on this channel, except those that run bigger. So you have a little bit of extra space in the toe box. Definitely helps with the comfort level. But let's move on to the criteria number 7, balance of application. So if this really was your survival boot, all right, not just work boot, not just training boot, but survival boot, you know, you're in the survival situation, that situation that you've been preparing, maybe it's part of your work, maybe not, it happened and now you're surviving, would this be good? Okay, so if you're wearing it already, maybe. If you have to put it on, yeah, not really, because it'll take forever. Yeah, seriously, like it will take forever just to put one boot on, and then you have the second one to put on. So chances are you'll just leave it and just barefoot. You're probably better off surviving than, you know, trying to put these on. They really do take a long time, and I mean, obviously I'm exaggerating, and you know, what, 3 minutes per boot maybe. But in the survival situation, you can see how it's like, yeah, not very effective. Another complaint is the outsole. Outsole is very, very kind of, it's not versatile at all. And for survival situations, you want something that, you know, imagine you have to run off from your house and go through different terrains, through the woods, through the mud, through the, you know, rocky, maybe you live in a mountainous area, you never know. You want the outsole to be capable of handling as much of a different terrain as possible, obviously, for survival situations. Unfortunately, this is a little bit too narrow to something. Whenever it comes to the proofing, I don't have problems with water not being non-waterproof. With vents, I'm completely fine. Just not a fan that they block them with the inner sole. I think it's kind of like a silly design overlook, and I think especially with brands like Oakley, it definitely shouldn't happen. So overall, if you're getting something for work, if you're getting something for training, you're gonna like this. You're not gonna be disappointed at all. They're comfortable, they're super lightweight. I mean, 14 ounce, super impressive. Wider fit, if you prefer wider fit, you're gonna appreciate them as well. And if you want super long strings that go all the way through here, you're gonna like this as well. But let's move on to the criteria number 8 now, the price. $113 on Amazon, I've mentioned in the beginning. Is that a good price? It's a decent price, let me just say that. In that price range, is there competition? Oh yeah, there's definitely competition in that price range, especially the newer stuff from Under Armour, Micro G, Valsats, Stellar G2. Excellent boots, I absolutely love them. There's some stuff from Bates, also newer models. Don't look at the older ones, I'm not a fan of the older ones, but the newer models, newer lineup that they have is actually pretty good. Denier, I think it goes like 130, 140, like for example Tachyon, that would probably be direct competitor to this. just with the lightness and comfort and all that stuff, but I think it runs a little bit on the pricier side, a little bit more expensive than these. So let me know in the comments below, guys, what do you think about this boot? What do you think about this review? If you have any requests for reviews, drop them in the comments below. As always, I will be happy to address them. And always appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. God bless you all. See you guys in the next video.